Good afternoon. My name is Jean-Philippe Desbiolles. Thanks a lot for your time and your attention. Just to introduce myself very briefly, I spent 20 years in IBM, so when I said that to Alexandra, I felt very old, but I'm not completely very old. I spent 14 years in France, basically working in financial services, in digital, CRM, and all these kind of things. After I went to Asia, I spent 3 years of my life in Singapore. I was covering business analytics for Southeast Asia. And after I left to New York, US, during 2 years, to lead IBM Watson for financial services worldwide. And I went back to France. I was not punished. It's a personal choice. I went back to France to take new responsibility again around Watson and cognitive and AI for IBM, for Europe, and for France. So this is a little bit what I did before. Let's jump now right away in the presentation itself. The first thing that I would like to share with you is about the fact that cognitive is not something which is a trend. It's not something which is conjunctural. It's really about transformation. It's really about disruption of everything we do, everything we teach, everything we sell. It's a real disruption. It's about an industrial revolution. And when I say that, it's not IBM statement. It's not a personal statement. It's about a statement which is coming from many people. One of them is about the World Economic Forum in March 2016, more than 1 year ago, 2016. World Economic Forum, basically statement was, we are already entered in what they called the fourth industrial revolution. And if you take time to read a little bit the outcome of this workshop, you will find that this industrial revolution is the result of a combination of 4 key drivers, and one of them is AI. So basically, AI is not the alpha and omega of everything what is happening right now, but it is definitively one real and very powerful trend which is supporting this industrial revolution. The second thing that I want to share with you, I don't know if you know this magazine or this newspaper, it's about Wired. This is what you see on the left of the screen. This is a very West Coast techie magazine. I really advise you to have a look on this one, and I really like the style and tone of this kind of magazine. And this is again 1 year ago when I was in San Francisco and I was living in New York. I was very often in West Coast, obviously for obvious reasons, as you can understand. And when I took my plane, I bought this magazine. And the title is The End of Code. And if I want to be provocative with you, I could stop right now my presentation. I will not do it, not to create frustration with you, but basically I could stop my presentation right now because this is just the best executive summary of what is happening right now in the market. This is the end of code. What does it mean? It means that AI, cognitive, and all this trend is about the shift between what we called a programming world to a learning world. If you have to just retain one thing, it's about we are coming from a programming world that we all of us know very well to a learning one. What is a programming world? It's about the fact that you have a business guy who is explaining to an IT guy what he or she wants. The guy is trying to do a program, he runs the program, he tests the program, he debugs the program, and the program is live and in production. This is old world. The new world, we are coming to our customer, which are banks in my core skills. We are coming with a system which is by nature or by design intelligent, between brackets, and this system is learning from you. He is learning from you, not from me, not from IBM, not from a consultant. He's learning from business people who are knowledgeable in a business domain. They will have to spend time to teach the system to do something. It's just the biggest shift in the IT industry and in the business that we know since now one century. Yeah? The second thing that I want to share with you is about the fact that, and you know that better than me, hopefully, AI is not new. AI is a very old concept, 1956, if I remember well. And after we had the AI winter, and now we are the spring of the AI, and we wake up with AI, which is now definitively embracing more and more challenges. On an IBM standpoint, we went through 3 key challenges to demonstrate to the market that we were doing some real improvement in this domain. And these 3 moments, I don't know if you remember them. The first one was in 1997 with a game which was called basically Deep Blue. Deep Blue was a chess game against Garry Kasparov, who was at this period of time the master of chess. And basically, to make a long story short, one day, we lost games against Garry Kasparov. Donc Deep Blue lost games. Deep Blue was let's say a machine, a system. And one day, Garry Kasparov lost the game. And he stopped to play with this machine because he understood one thing. Every time that he was sitting down and playing against the machine, he was in fact teaching the machine to beat him. Again, we can say that when you take a drink, a beer with friends, if you really think about what I'm telling you, it's just, again, the biggest shift in everything what we have known so far. Every time, every hour, every minute you spend with the machine is taking something from you to learn something, okay? Not perfect, maybe, but this is the principle. This is how it works. The second thing is about Jeopardy. Jeopardy is a little bit like Question pour un champion, the French mode. And basically, what we have demonstrated is three things. The first thing in Jeopardy, the system, which was branded for the first time Watson. Watson is in the middle in the photography, so this is nobody behind except the machine. And after you have the two guys here who are the two most prestigious champions in this game in the US. So we have demonstrating three things. First thing, the questions which were asked to the machine were asked by a human being in natural language. It's not about keyword, it's about a question which was asked to the two champions and Watson to get an answer. So it's all about natural language processing, NLP, natural language understanding, natural language generation on a certain extent. So it's all about linguistic. All this system, Watson or not Watson, I don't care at this stage, it's about the biggest improvement that we have done in the linguistic domain to understand what you say, what you want, and what is the real intent of what you are telling me or trying to tell me. It's about communication between human being and the machine. Point number one. Point number two, once I understood what you want, or what you ask for, I need to give an answer to you with the highest level of accuracy in order to win the game, correct? Don't think that Watson is 100% accurate. You will be disappointed. It's not Harry Potter, it's not magic. Like you, Watson is not all the time correct. But again, it's a matter of fact. I like facts in general in my life. Facts is the following. We have, again, won against these two guys, reaching a level of accuracy of 75%. It was enough to win against human beings. We have not reached 100%. The machine can be wrong. The biggest difference between the machine and the human being, what I'm used to say to my customer, is about the fact that on a memory standpoint, we have no limit, it's limitless, the machine. And all of us, we are limited. As smart as we are limited in capacity of ingestion of a knowledge in our brain. It's about limitation, human being limitation. Machine has no limitation on this kind of thing, okay? Second difference, which was interesting for me, Watson doesn't lie. Human being has a fantastic capacity to invent and create an answer which is not potentially a real answer. You create something to give an answer to somebody. On this standpoint, Watson is not lying to you. Can be challenged, but on a certain extent, it's what we call an evidence-based system, which means a system which is based on evidence and rational and facts. Watson is giving you not only an answer, it's giving you a probability of accuracy of this answer. That's why we are used to say that Watson is a probabilistic system versus a deterministic one. And last thing, Watson is giving you all the facts, all the rationale, which has been gathered within a corpus of information in order to give you the answer and the level of accuracy. Okay? Capability number 3, and I will stop there. It's about machine learning and deep learning. Why? Because again, if you take time to see the games on Google, everything is public, you will see again that Watson lost the first games. And basically, between you and me, many games. Watson was not able to understand the questions. He was wrong. Watson was not able to give the right answer. He was wrong. But it was less and less wrong. Less and less wrong. And one day, again, he was giving the right answers. And again, the machine won the game. 2014, and this is why I'm working on this domain since now 7 to 8 years. When I started in Asia, it was because I saw a video and I was in contact with people in the US who have been the first to use this kind of system in the oncology space. So basically to try to help the doctor in the cancer domain to better diagnostic and to better give some prescription to patients. And when I saw what they were doing, I just tell myself, we have to do the same thing in the banking industry, because the banker should be, unfortunately it's not the case, should be like a doctor, basically somebody who is taking care of me and not only pushing me products that I don't need. I say that the same thing to my customer, because again, if you do that, you are creating a lack of trust between the customer and the banks. And this is what we are trying to fight and to create now, a trusted relationship between human being and the bank. So basically, what is a cognitive system? It's three things. First of all, a system which is able to understand natural languages. And basically, we have a language roadmap. We have now 8 languages within Watson. Point number 2, a system which is able to learn and improves the accuracy of the answers, and more accurate, better and better accuracy. And the last thing, understand language and machine learning, always learning from the experience. Having said that, when we try to commercialize our, let's say, enablers or technology, we had to think differently how to address our customer. We are not selling a software, we are selling something which is able to cover many things. And when you try to cover many things, at the end of the day, you are not covering anything. So basically what we are try to do is to identify some patterns where we think, and we continue to think that Watson has a right fit. And these 4 patterns are respectively engagement, discovery, decision, and exploration. One word on each of them very quick. Many of our customers are CDO, Chief Digital Officer, and they want to change the customer experience. One way to change the customer experience is to change all the UI, all the UX based on new capabilities that we have today with AI in order to create a dialogue, a conversation, a human-like conversation between the user and the firm that we are working for, okay? So this is one thing. Complete change in all the UI and UX domain, complete radical change. The second thing that you need to understand is the promise of cognitive system is to reach the ultimate goal of customer experience. And if I have to summarize, to make a long story short, at least within my perspective again, I can be challenged. One of the ultimate goals of a customer experience is to learn from you all along my relationship with you. It can be verbal, it can be non-verbal, communication verbal, communication non-verbal, and so on. But at the end of the day, this kind of system, because they are based on machine learning, are supposed to learn from you and to improve the experience that they are creating with you. That's why everything on digital, customer experience, engagement is one big domain of AI application today. And this is what we call here chatbot and all these kind of things, okay? The second thing is about discovery. Discovery is a very different pattern. This is for people who are searching things, who are trying to discover links between facts, dates, evidence, people. Can be used in intelligence domain, can be used in medicine, in science, in finance, by the way. And Watson can help this kind of job in order to discover things that, due to the overloading of information, you cannot find anything else now. Because too much data just kill the data and kill your ability to understand what is really happening. The third thing is about decision, recommendation. I worked a lot in the private banking domain, which is one of my core skills. And what we want to reach is obviously to give a recommendation to somebody. It can be very complex because depending on many factors, as you know. In this domain, if you want to reach this kind of use case, you cannot only use AI. So I don't want to oversell this kind of solution. If you want to go through this kind of use cases, basically to recommend something to somebody and to explain why A is better than B, you have to combine different layers of technology, which are respectively cognitive, prescriptive, and predictive. Cognitive is all about AI, Watson, mainly focusing on unstructured data. The second one, predictive, is about advanced analytics and modeling, mainly around structured data. And the last one, prescriptive, which is really the prescription, the next best action, is really about business rules with or without optimization. And this is a combination of these three things bundled together, which can bring the outcome, which is at the end of the day, I am able to explain to you why I think that this investment is better than the other one, and I can finally try to explain to you, fact-based, evidence-based, why I think this scenario is better. You can trust me or not, you can believe me or not, but at the end of the day, I have created a dialogue with you, and we can open a discussion together based on facts, and not only because this is the last marketing campaign that I have to push to my customer. Few numbers for you, if you like numbers. 5.5 versus 5.1. 5.1, again, to go straight to the point, is the mistake error rate that we have today, right now, when I am talking to you. So basically, you should understand me at 94.9%, and you have an error margin of 5.1% in terms of understanding between you and me, overall. The machine, Watson, has reached 4 weeks ago, by the way, new world record, a rate of 5.5. So we have not yet reached the human rate in terms of error during a communication between two humans. We are very near. 75 versus 95. This is about visual recognition. About the melanoma for the cancer oncology. If you take 3,000 photographies, and if you show these photographies to a doctor, he or she has a capability to detect a cancer around 75 to 85%. Again, based on 3,000 photographies. Okay? The machine has already reached 95% based only on these photographies. So on a visual recognition standpoint, we are already exceeded the human capability to have a look, to watch, and to understand some specificities based on photographies. 6 billion and 30. 6 billion is coming from the Gartner Group, which is an estimation of 6 billion intelligent objects around the world in 1 year from now. What does it mean? It means that you cannot think about AI without thinking about Internet of Things. The two worlds are tightly combined because one of them is bringing the intelligence to the other one, which will embed, which will integrate, whatever the word you use, this intelligence in order to do something and to create an innovation. This is a robot, this is your iPhone, this is your car, this is your box, this is your Alexa, this is your mobile, this is all these objects that you have right now. It's just the beginning. That's why you can see the expansion of AI all over the world, embedded within these objects. 30 is, again, an estimation, a projection. Let's see if it will be reached. I don't know yet. Let's see. It's about the number of objects of a family in 2 years from now. 30 objects for a typical family, for the children, for the couple, husband, wife, and so on. 30 objects around you. It's just amazing. So again, when you think about AI, think about Internet of Things, these two words are tightly integrated and tightly coupled. Now, what we do today. So I want to give you a sort of state of the art of what we are doing right now in the market to be more pragmatic. We are covering 3 domains quite actively right now, and basically also in France. So I'm giving you a worldwide perspective and also a French perspective, and we can discuss that a little bit later if you want, if you're interested in this topic. We are covering customer experience, everything around digital. We are covering advisory process, as I said before, and we are covering a 3rd domain, which is about the risk and compliance. In terms of maturity, it's high, medium, low. Just to give you a feedback of where we are, at least for IBM. Maybe somebody is high. We are not high. We are high, low, medium in this last domain. The traction of the 3rd domain is just amazing because many customers are challenging us to see what we can do, leveraging AI on rules, regulation, audit, compliance, internal, external. It's a key and very hot topic for us and for our customer. Okay, I took one example just before I left New York. I was working for a big private bank in East Coast, in the US, near New York. Not in New York, but near New York. And we have been challenged by the marketing team of this bank in order to change the way that they are doing marketing and segmentation of their customer. To make a long story short, because in many things we have done, very interesting, challenging, some of them have been success, others have been failure. Again, you need to acknowledge that. I took only the success for today, but the failures are very interesting also to understand the limitation of AI. We have used what we call in Watson an API which is called Personality Insight, which is basically analyzing your personality based on what you are writing. So you just need 3,000 words from you. It has to come from you, not done for your friend. And based on that, I can extract a personality profile of you and your values. And what we have done with that, we have done many things. Point number one, we have I think that I have, yeah, but it is more visual for you. So what we have done, we have analyzed obviously the profile of the customer and or the prospects to see the fit with the relationship manager of the bank that I was working for, to understand the fit on a psychological standpoint. What we have done, we all know that now we are more and more on a value-based investment approach. So basically, people want to buy something which is meaningful for them, and it's not only about performance, it's about what makes sense for me in terms of values. And as you know, when you buy funds or funds of funds, you don't know anymore what you are really buying because the products, which is the base of the fund, is completely hidden by the overall thing. So what we have done, we have applied personality insight to this kind of product, fund and fund of funds, to ensure again that this product had the right fit with the values of the targeted customer to ensure that this investment was meaningful for this person based on what he or she thought was important for him or for her. Make sense what I say? So again, it's just another example to show you that one of my lessons learned is about imagination. You need to be creative because we are in a domain which is going very fast. Sometimes I was convinced that we were not able to do something, I was wrong. And sometimes I was convinced that we could do something and I was wrong. It was not possible, not yet. So you need to be flexible, you need to learn fast and to try. The last thing, maybe I am a little bit short of time right now. I have
just a little short, but one more minute?
One more minute.
All right, sounds good.
So maybe I will show you a video rather than again to talk. This video is quite nice. It's about what we are doing in the school in the US with a small, you will see alligator or crocodile, powered by Watson to have an interaction with the children. I like this video and I will explain to you why just after the video. So we have no time to go through this one. It is about what is Watson, but I'm not here to sell you Watson. Could you please run the video right now? And after we'll do just a short comment and we will close the presentation.
Hi, my name is Lily.
Hi, Lily. Nice to meet you.
How far is the moon?
The moon is about 250,000 miles
That's
from
a
Earth's
lot.
average. What is 2 plus 2?
4.
Awesome job, Grayson.
What is the speed of light?
The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. Can you count to 6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Super.
Tell me a knock-knock joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Lettuce.
Letters who?
Let us in. It is freezing outside.
My favorite color is orange.
Okay, I'll try to remember. Your favorite color is orange.
See you later, alligator.
In a wild crocodile.
Tell me a story.
How about we make a story together?
Okay, so I show you this video for 2 reasons. The first reason is to explain to you visually what I told you 10 minutes ago about the combination of AI and Internet of Things. This is just the combination of these 2 worlds. And the second reason why I show you this video is we are talking a lot about digital natives since now 15 years. The cognitive ones are now onboarded, it's already done. So it's more than time to understand this domain, to play with this domain, understand what we can do, what we cannot do, what we want to do. And it's very urgent because my lessons learned is I have not seen so pervasive domain in 20 years of consulting in my life. It's coming everywhere, in all industries. So horizontally, it's coming everywhere, vertically, front to back, in terms of process. So again, it's a big shift, it's a real industrial revolution, and it will impact all of us. If you want it or not, it's no more the questions. It's a lost battle. And the last thing is this one. I like this movie, and the actress also. And basically, you can see the title. Let's think about, this is an augmented world that we are doing. In IBM, we are not talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about augmented intelligence, which is really an intention to augment people, empower people, and not to replace them, even if it's a matter of fact that it will impact the way that we are doing everything. A big thank you for your attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Jean-Philippe, super. Thank you very much. Come have a seat next to me. Here. I'm going to turn the microphone to you guys, and I'll start with a few questions, unless you have some that you want to start with. All right, off the bat, okay, we have a question over here then, Alexandra. I'll let you guys start with the questions, and I have a few of my own. Fascinating.
Thank you. Just wanted to know, when you said that when the machine is wrong, then you repeat it again and again until the machine can answer. So is there any, do you intervene on the algorithm or whatever to reteach the machine how the machine should answer or not?
It's a thank you for the question, by the way.
Welcome.
And it's a very important question. I try to summarize the situation that we are facing today. When you build this kind of use case, you need two things. First thing, the data, and second thing, the learning process. Let's start with the one which is for me the more important, which is the learning process. Too much people are talking about the data. I don't say the data is not important, but focusing on the data, I think is really missing the real point of what is happening right now. What is happening right now, as I said, is about the fact that we are transferring knowledge and know-how, which is two things different, knowledge and know-how, to a machine. How we are doing that? We are going through a learning process, which is, at the end of the day, we are taking few SMEs, subject matter experts, which are really they have to be the subject matter expert, and they have to be the most knowledgeable people that you have as a customer in a specific domain. If you give me the wrong people, you will get wrong results. The machine will not understand what is right and what is wrong at all. The machine will be able to learn from these people, again, who have to be the SMEs and what was the right people, and they will spend time, 2 to 3 months, to get the first outcome, which is usable, which is real, to teach the system what is correct, what is not correct, what is right, what is wrong, and so on. And they will do that with an interaction between the human beings, this set of people, and the machine. And it's quite repetitive task, by the way, and quite labor-intensive. I was, few weeks ago, I have now a new team in France, many people in France, 500 people in my team today, and I need to teach them very fast now what is cognitive and how we are doing projects. And in order to do that, I took 4 customers in France in very different industries, industrial, telco, bank, and so on. And I have asked this customer to talk about the project that we are doing with them, to give their perspective on what we are doing. And not about good, bad, we don't care about what good, bad, they are doing that. What we care is about the lessons learned on what we are doing and what is the outcome and how we are working with them. And one of the outcomes of this roundtable was that they have been surprised by the fact that it was quite labor-intensive to go through this learning process. Again, no magical, no something which is coming from the sky, from nowhere, not at all. It's really about an hard work in order to teach the system to reach a first level of knowledge and know-how which will be sufficient to deliver a service. Point number 1. Point number 2, the data. I go back to the data. Data are obviously very important, but again, if you are using wrong data or crap within the corpus of Watson, you will get crap inside, crap as an outcome. So again, we need to be very careful about what are the data that we are ingesting, what are the trusted sources of data that we want to leverage in order to deliver a use case. And this is really the 2 big domains where we need to do a very precise work, learning process on one side, set of data that we are ingesting within Watson in order to deliver something which is hopefully meaningful for the customer. I have answered to your question? Thank you so much. Last thing that I really trust, I believe in the fact that we need to supervise this kind of system. So basically, once we are live with this kind of system, I think that you have seen some articles about Crédit Mutuel and so on, and Orange Bank and so on, in the last weeks in France, which are using Watson. You need to supervise this system because it's like a children, to a certain extent. If you don't supervise the system will be impacted through a long cycle of time by the usage of what the people will do with the system. So you need to be careful that the learning curve and the machine learning of the system will be tightly managed in order again to ensure that what you are taking from this learning process and that you are ingesting again in this machine is really the one that you want to ingest. I am clear with that? It's really about supervision.
Yeah, I have a question related to this. Can you articulate where this knowledge and expertise goes and to whom it belongs to? In particular, we are startups here, we build expertise in a specific field. So we train your model or our model, and where is the IP? It's a question, of course, of valuation to our friends, investors afterwards.
Yeah, it's a good question. I have many different answers, but the first answer could be no one of my customers would have signed with us if they felt or if they understand fact-based that we are here to import their knowledge and to capture their knowledge to be used for other customers. Point number one, they are not mad, huh? Because we are touching the most important thing that they have, which is their knowledge. Point number two, so the impact of what I say is, on a certain extent, we are creating their own Watson, because the process knowledge that we are doing is obviously with their employees, their SMEs, which are teaching their own Watson based on their own use cases for their own usage. I cannot take a use case that I am doing with this customer and take this use case and say, voilà, I have a ready-to-use system that you can use right away. First of all, I'm not allowed to do that, and this is not our intention to do that. On a contractual standpoint, we have all the legal clauses read by all the parties to ensure that we cannot do that. But it's more complex than that, because in the same time that I can say that, I have to say that the algorithms which are really behind the system, but the basic algorithm of Watson, which are learning from an experience, whatever the experience is, on a certain extent, are taking a benefit coming from all the experience that we are doing all over the world, coming from all over the industries. And this is also a correct statement. Make sense what I say? The only domain where what I said is wrong, and fortunately for all of us between you and me, it's about the healthcare industry and the oncology. Oh my goodness, on a certain extent. And this is the domain, which is the counter-example of what I just said, where we are sharing the knowledge, the experience, and many more things, the data, because again, our customers think this is the right thing to do, and fortunately for the human being between you and me.
You mentioned earlier that the databases were fact-based, and my question tends towards the space of subjectivity into that. As humans, we're able to be subjective. Are we able to be subjective here and understand things in a more shaded color? It was interesting how Watson answered that little girl about the distance. It said approximately, given an approximate number. When does the subjectivity kick in here?
Okay. I have many things to share with you, but when I was based in Singapore, we did a big project on a private bank, Singaporean one, by the way, and I was working with the top gun of the relationship manager, who was a lady, by the way, brilliant lady, very smart. And at the end of the project, she told me, Jean-Philippe, you know, again, you have delivered what you have delivered, that's fine, blah, blah, blah. But she told me, you know, the thing which is really amazing in what you have built is the fact that the machine, or the solution, let's call it like this, is delivering me some options, investment options, by the way, that I was not thinking of. So this is, for me, the most important thing. This kind of system is breaking one of our limitations as human beings, which is our zone of comfort and zone of competence. We have all our zone of comfort, can be different, and we like to stay in our comfort zone, no? Except very few people are like to go outside their comfort zone and so on. But even if you want to go outside your comfort zone, you have your limitation because you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know, okay? So at the end of the day, this kind of system has no limitation in terms of ingestion, as I said at the beginning of my presentation. So you are breaking this big limitation of the human being. About subjectivity, if I was a little bit provocative, this system is obviously also subjective because it was teaching by humans. So even if we are trying to be the more rational or fact-based reasoning on whatever the subject can be saving, can be insurance, can be investment, can be many things. At the end of the day, by design, the system will have a part of subjectivity because this system is taught by people, not by, again, supra-system or supra-intelligence around you. It's not at all the case. All my customers today that are working for and with are part of the learning process. And all these people, even if they try to be the more objective, they have their own part of subjectivity. So on this standpoint, this system can have a part of subjectivity. But again, over difference with human being, as I said already, when the system will give you an answer, he or she will give you always all the facts, all the rationale behind the answer. So you will be able to check this rationale and to have your own judgment about the decision. Makes sense? Doesn't make sense? It will be your call, not the machine call. The machine job will be to give you an answer which is, on his perspective, the most accurate possible, with all the facts which are underlining the answer.
Jean-Philippe, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Will you stay with us for the cocktail
I will
so we
try.
can all jump on you
Thank
and
you
ask
so much.
questions? Fantastic. Thank you very much.